San Francisco 49ers head into the offseason with plenty of questions after a 4-12 campaign. A year removed from playing in the Super Bowl, the 49ers, according to their general manager and head coach, are open to upgrades at every position, including quarterback. They've won a ton of games with Jimmy Garoppolo under center, but it still seems as if they're not 100% confident in him. And then there are his contract details. $23 million. He is under contract for 2 more seasons with no guarantees left in his deal. Since coming into the 49ers in 2017, he's only completed more than 6 games in a season once. That was in 2019 as a starter. 32 games under his belt, 30 of those with the Niners, 24-8 as a starter in his career. Okay, so let's talk about Jimmy and the Niners with our Pete Prisco and Danny Kanell. There seems to be a going notion that the Niners are set to roll with him in 2021, Pete, whether it be for a lack of better options or the price is just too high elsewhere. Is that an accurate statement, or do you think Jimmy could be somewhere else come the start of next season?
Well, I think Jimmy can still be somewhere else. And I think the 49ers exploring all options, and they should. There's some concern about Jimmy Garoppolo. Is he good enough? Can he take that team to the Super Bowl? And remember, they had a lot of injuries last year, devastating injuries, including him, and George Kittle and Nick Bosa. But I think they're going to be back in the mix this year if they get good quarterback play. So the question becomes for Kyle Shanahan, is he the answer? Or do you explore maybe Sam Darnold? Or you do make a mega deal maybe to go get Deshaun Watson? There are options out there. By no means is Jimmy Garoppolo definitely the starting quarterback for the 49ers on opening day.
Yeah, I would put money that he's not the quarterback for the 49ers. I agree with you. You know, to me, it reminds me some of the rumblings that you hear behind the scene. There are a lot of similarities when Jared Goff was with the Rams and Sean McVay, offensive, wonderkind as an offensive play caller, young quarterback, gets you to the Super Bowl, but it's just not enough. What did we see happen? A mega deal made with Matthew Stafford to bring him in. Now we've got Jimmy Garoppolo, had a lot of success, brought them to the Super Bowl, came up just short. Kyle Shanahan, offensive mind, young offensive mind. In both of these situations, you hear it's just not enough. Like, we need something more to get us over that hump, to get us an actual Super Bowl win, not just to get us there. So I do think there is some validity, some of those rumors that are behind the scenes of what's happening with the 49ers. John Lynch is a very smart guy. He's well connected. I don't think he would play his hand. I think that's why you're hearing some of the counter to that. Oh, well, they can build around him. They're going to put him in a position to succeed. Ideally, I think the 49ers would like to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo, and I do think there are some suitors out there. I think the Jets make a ton of sense. I would like to see Sam Darnold in this system. I know he's been highly inconsistent, but I think he fits in Kyle Shanahan's system. It would maybe take a year, which might be a little bit, is the patience there for the 49ers? They were just in the Super Bowl, maybe not, but I would be surprised if Jimmy Garoppolo is the starting quarterback for the 49ers this season.
The 49ers have about $20 million in cap space, so they do have some money to spend. What are the biggest areas of need for the 49ers this offseason, Pete?
Well, they have quarterbacks who are unrestricted free agents, so they got to decide what to do with those guys. I mean, you look at it, Richard Sherman, unrestricted free agent, Akilla Witherspoon, unrestricted free agent, and so is Emmanuel Mosley. So they have to figure out, Jason Verrett as well, they have to figure out what they're going to do at cornerback. Number one priority easily is the cornerback position. Now, in their defense, it's a little different the way they play. But you still have to have top guys there. And so I think they have to figure out what they're going to do in free agency at the cornerback position. I also think they need to address the offensive line, particularly the interior, and they need to get better on the interior of that line and have to decide what they do with Trent Williams. Remember, he's 33 years old. He came in, he was their left tackle last year, did a really nice job when he was on the field. And I think they have to decide what kind of contract they want to give him. But those are the priorities, I think. You could also throw in wide receiver because we know Kyle Shanahan likes his toys and his wide receivers.
Secondary, the biggest issue, and I think they'll be able to find an upgrade. Richard Sherman, at this point in his career, I think has seen his best days behind him, and they have money to spend. That would be my number one issue I would address, and I would pay top dollar to try to address it. Offensive line, another one, regardless if it's Jimmy Garoppolo or whoever it is playing quarterback for the 49ers. I think you've got to kind of shore up the issues that have plagued that team. And then I'd be curious to see what they do on the defensive line. If they bring somebody to go on the other side of Nick Bosa, try to get another presence to impact a passer, There's some really good quarterbacks in their division. They want to be able to get after him to impact the passer. And again, it's kind of the same. All these teams that are on the outside looking in that want to take it to that next level, the offensive line to protect the quarterback, it's somebody to impact the quarterback on the other side, and then it's a difference-making wide receiver. So I would say those are some of the issues. And the corner issue is because you got to defend. It's a pass-happy game. You got to have corners who can defend the pass. So I think those are the issues that are going to be most critical for the 49ers to address.
All right, let's talk about the free agent class and who they could target then. Danny, what are some of the names that come to mind in terms of filling some of those holes?
So one of the names that was big name out there, and he was just franchised by the New England Patriots and would help with the offensive line, is Joe Thuney. It'll be interesting to see. The Patriots typically do not like to spend top dollar for their own players and keep them in-house. I think he'd be an outstanding addition to the 49ers offensive line, so I'm curious to see what they'll do there. I think it'd be a great option. There is a relationship with Lynch and Bill Belichick where they brought in Jimmy Garoppolo from there. They have an open dialogue, a good relationship, so I think he'd be able to get good insight there, and he would love nothing more than to take a player out of New England. William Jackson is probably an underrated corner who was a first-round pick in 2016, really delivered, then kind of had a little bit of a hiccup there, and then the last year was outstanding at the cornerback position, probably one of the better corners that's available on the open market. And then Melvin Ingram. I mentioned the impact of getting somebody on the other side of Nick Bosa, somebody who's played with Joey Bosa. But I think as somebody who's got a veteran presence who can get after the quarterback would be a nice addition for the defense of the 49ers.
Yeah, I like that idea, but they're going to have to make decisions at center. They're going to have to make decisions on D Ford, and I think they're both going to get cut. They have big cap numbers. Western Richburg banged up the last 2 years, didn't come close to living up to the contract he signed with them as a free agent from the Giants. So let's take a look at center. Alex Mack, who was the center when Kyle Shanahan helped take the Falcons to the Super Bowl, will be available. He's a veteran guy, might come in for a couple years and stabilize the middle of that line. I like the addition of a cornerback. Shaq Griffin would make a lot of sense. He fits the style of defense that they play. You'd be weakening an opponent inside the division, which is always a good thing. So I think Shaq Griffin would be one of those guys that would really help them. And then as far as wide receiver, Corey Davis would be a nice addition. I don't think he's going to get the contract he thinks he's going to get. He's not going to get one of the top-tier deals, so you might be able to get him on a favorable deal. Remember, they've had a lot of guys banged up at receiver. Ayuk is going to be a good one. I think Samuel's a kind of a guy who can do a lot of different things, but adding another one would be a nice addition for whoever plays quarterback for the 49ers.
As mentioned, a 4-12 finish last year, bottom of the NFC West, 5 games back of Seattle and the Rams. So what are the expectations for the 49ers going into 2021 for you, Pete?
Well, they should compete for the division title. Again, it all goes back to the quarterback position. Who's playing there? I think Sam Darnold will be great in that scheme. I think he'd be an upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo. And remember, all the injuries they had, they were feisty and tough week in and week out, and that's a testament to Kyle Shanahan. He's a heck of a coach. He really is. He gets the best out of his players. And I think, yeah, the division's good. Seattle's good. They have some issues right now. The Rams are, getting a new quarterback with Matt Stafford, and Arizona made a playoff push last year. So it's a tough division. But I think the 49ers are going to be right back smack in the middle of it, get guys back healthy. They will push for the division title.
I hope so. I mean, I'm a Kyle Shanahan fan. I'm a John Lynch fan. The guys that are the, at the helm there for the 49ers, it is extremely competitive. Seattle probably will be a pick to win it with Russell Wilson so consistently, top 5 quarterback play there. What you mentioned, though, about Jimmy Garoppolo, I kind of need to figure out what direction they go. If they land Sam Darnold, I think that's good. I think it could be an upgrade, but I think it'll take some time. I think the Rams are a really interesting dynamic because Matthew Stafford expected to take that team to the next level. We just saw Tom Brady do it, so why wouldn't he? But it's really hard to do that, to come into a team and just take them off to a division title. So, and then Arizona's a young, talented team who, performed really well last year. I think they'll be better. So, but I would tend to agree with you. I don't think I would pick them to win the division until I see who they end up finally with their quarterback. But I think they should expect to be competitive in what is one of the tougher divisions in the entire NFL. And I think they will be. But in order for me to go ahead and pick them to win the division, I got to figure out what's going on at quarterback first.
And as you saw there, plus 200 to win the NFC West, plus 700 to win the NFC. CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco and NFL analyst Danny Kanell breaking down the 49ers. Thank you, gentlemen. We're looking at all the teams this offseason, and the team previews will continue on Monday here on HQ. We'll take a look at the Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert entering his sophomore season. What strides can he take in year 2 under a new head coach? And for the Minnesota Vikings, improving that defense remains a priority.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.